to me, and his jaw dropped. There was no door, just a frame, and peering through the frame, we could see that there was a back door, also with no frame.
Dude.
All we had to do was walk through the house, then we could get to the beach.
Don't go there.
I looked at
Don't.
Ethan. Should we do it? I asked him. He shrugged. I don't see
Guys,
why not.
don't go
he
there.
responded.
Don't go in, please.
Inside
Don't go
the house
in.
was dark, and Ethan pointed to the door. As we reached the door, I peered up the stairs. I grabbed Ethan and shoved him out the door. What was it? He said, as soon as we got away. I glanced up the stairs and I saw the shadowy outline of a person. All I could see were eyes staring back at me and a crooked grin. To this day, Ethan and I still wonder what it was. Was that man just a homeless person, or maybe he was something much, much worse?
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for another vlog. Now, tonight, we're going to be reacting to some spooky, scary stories. Reason for that? It is the month of October. This is Halloween month. So each week, we're going to be looking at different stories. So sit back, relax, get a blankie if you must, turn the lights off, and let's listen to these spooky stories.
But before you do that, you gotta hit the subscribe button. If you are new, ring the notification bell on because that will let you know when the next episode is up. So do that. You got 5 seconds to do that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So let's get straight into this tale. And trust me, I'm petrified. I'm already freaking out, and it's dark outside, and it's really noises already. So let's go. So now, the first story that we're gonna look at is called The Witch. Now, remember, these are true events. Okay, these are true accounts. I've got my teddy, my penguin, to keep me safe. And we're going to watch these. If you want to know exactly what's going on here, I can tell you this. For each week up to Halloween, October the 31st, I will have a different makeup on for these Halloween stories. Now let's watch these stories. Are you ready? Let's do this. Oh, I really not liking that.
This happened when I was a kid. I was in the 5th grade and my friend, let's call him Ethan, invited me over to his place. He lived right by the ocean, and if you walked through the forest for half a mile, you'd reach a nice beach with a diving board. When I got to his house, we hung out, played video games, and talked. You know, typical kid stuff. Then we decided to go to the beach.
I'm starting to get
It wasn't too far
here.
away, and we knew we could get back in time for dinner, so we set off. To make the trip more adventurous, we decided to bushwhack our own path. After walking a couple of minutes, we hit a tall fence. "Crap!" Ethan exclaimed. "Well, I guess we'll have to go back." Suddenly, out of the corner of my eye, I spotted something. The fence went about 8 meters long and then stopped. My jaw dropped. There was a house. It was an old cabin with boarded-up windows. The planks were falling off, and you could see the old insulation underneath. It was gray in color and had flecks of blue paint.
I wouldn't go in there.
The fence led up to the side of the house, stopped, and then continued on the other side. What scared me the most was that there was no road. I mean, not even a clearing to get to the road. You'd have to walk 20 minutes. "Kevin, come on!" Ethan yelled from behind me. "Look at this!" I shouted back. Ethan walked up to me, and his jaw dropped. There was no door, just a frame, and peering through the frame, we could see that there was a back door, also with no frame.
Dude.
All we had to do was walk through the house,
Don't.
then we could get to the beach.
Don't go there.
I looked at
Don't.
Ethan. Should we do it? I asked him. He shrugged. I don't see why
Guys,
not.
don't go
he
there.
responded.
Don't go in, please.
Inside
Don't
the
go
house
in.
was dark, despite the sunlight pouring in through the door. We advanced slowly through the house, and Ethan pointed to the door. As we reached the door, I peered up the stairs. I grabbed Ethan and shoved him out the door. "What was it?" he said as soon as we got away. My whole body shook. I must be going mad, I thought to myself. Eventually, I explained it to him. As we reached the door, I wanted to take one last look at the house. I glanced up the stairs and I saw the shadowy outline of a person. All I could see were eyes staring back at me and a crooked grin. Ethan and I took another route back home, and we told Ethan's mom.
Well, that
She
was
laughed
mean.
at us and said she'd been that way many times and there was no house. And we were angry because she didn't believe us, so we got out our cameras and went back the next day. When we got there was no house. It was just
What?
gone. No clearing, nothing. To this day, Ethan and I still wonder what it was. Was that man just a homeless person, or maybe he was something much, much worse? I suggested to Ethan a theory that scares me to this day. I had been reading about Russian folklore, and a page caught my attention. It was a story about a witch named Baba Yaga who had a moving house. She would eat naughty children, and parents used to use it to scare children. Was this a witch? I guess we'll never know.
Whoa, dude. Whoa. 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 No. 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 I wouldn't go in there. This is... No. I wouldn't go in there. No, I wouldn't. Not a chance. I would... bolt. Okay. Let's go see what the next one is. What's the next story about? Do hide and seek in the cemetery. Oh, this is gonna sound
I was in
bad.
my early teenage years during this time. My family and I went on vacation in a village which had a forest rumored to be haunted. There was a cemetery in the forest. It was a little far away from the village, near a lake. We weren't actually supposed to go to that forest, but my cousins thought it would be fun to play hide and seek at night. We were given some rules. We weren't allowed to take our phones or flashlights with us. As planned, we all met in front of our farmhouse at midnight. Me and my younger sister, who was 7 years old at that time, were the youngest out of everyone. So my older cousin decided to help us hide. He was 22 at that time, and he wanted to make sure we didn't get lost. After we chose who was going to be the seeker, we parted ways, trying to find the best hiding spot. My older cousin just wanted to win, so he took us to the cemetery. He said, "She'll
Don't go in
obviously
there,
be too
dudes.
afraid
Come
to
on,
get to the cemetery.
don't venture in the
I think this will be
cemetery."
a best hiding spot for us." Although my younger sister
Listen
kept
to your
telling us not
sister.
to go there, we shut her off, telling her she was just a kid and would make us get caught. To this day, we wish we would have listened to her. It was getting darker. It was almost 2 a.m. Then all of a sudden, the cemetery lights went out. My sister's hand tightened around my hand. My cousin was obviously scared too. We could only hear the sound of wind and stray dogs barking at the backside of the cemetery. But then,
Keep me company,
we
penguin.
heard digging noises. I still remember that horrifying sound. At a distance, we could see an old man with ruffled hair and dirty clothes, digging a grave with his bare hands. He was making hissing noises while he dug. All of us stood there frozen. We didn't know if we should scream or run away. My cousin held our hands and started to slowly lead us to the entrance, trying not to make any noise. He whispered, "We have to get out of here." My sister was almost on the verge of crying. But to ruin everything,
sorry guys,
I
this
stepped
blank
out a
is getting
broken
put to right
branch,
now.
making a
I'm getting
loud
rid of it.
noise. The stranger shot up his head toward our direction, and his
Whoa,
lips
that guy's
curved in a
creepy.
creepy smile. "Run!" my cousin yelled, quickly picking up my sister and running away as I followed closely behind them. Thankfully, the man was weak and
Run,
couldn't
guys.
run any faster. He stopped at the middle of the cemetery, staring at us with his hazel eyes. A few days later, we found out that the man had been caught by the police. He was a criminal who dug up dead bodies, stored drugs in them, and sent them off to other nations to sell drugs. he was caught once but successfully escaped. If he wasn't so old and weak, I'm afraid that we might have ended up being a couple of dead bodies too.
Okay, now this story. It's called The Mystery Girl in the House. Wanna play with me? I think this is the worst one. Hold on, guys, because this is gonna be spooky.
Hi.
Hi,
name is
Alyssa.
Alyssa. And I'm
Okay.
15.
Pleased to meet you.
A few months ago, something strange happened to me.
Do tell.
To this day, I can't explain exactly what happened. I was relaxing at my house, doing some schoolwork on my laptop. Being home alone never bothered me until then. After about 2 hours of being alone, I decided to go get some ice cream from the freezer. As I headed back with ice cream to my room, I heard someone bang on the front door. I never answer the doors, and I always make sure they're locked when my parents leave. I decided it was the mailman, and that he would set the package down and leave. Then I heard the bang again, but louder. I was confused, so I went to my dad's office since it had a window facing the front porch. The second I grabbed the door handle of his office, my parents' bedroom door slammed shut right next to me. I screamed. Our air conditioning was broken at the time, so there was no way it could have been the air. I looked at the door, ran to the other side of the house, and called my mom to see if she was expecting anyone over. "No, Alyssa," she said. And those 2 words made my heart beat faster than it ever has. My phone disconnected, and I started hearing footsteps coming towards me from down the hallway. I ran and hid behind a door in our living room. I knew I'd be out of sight, since I used to hide there as a child. I called my close friend Emily, who always knew how to calm me down in crazy
Emily,
situations.
you need to get there.
She told me to go and lock myself in my room. As she was talking, I started to hear doors open and slam shut along with footsteps, and the voice of a little girl saying, "I'm going to find you," over and over. I started crying, and when the noise stopped, I ran to my bedroom door. When I grabbed the handle and was about to go in, I heard it again. The little girl was in my room and said, "Come here, Alyssa. I want to play. Come here." I ran to the guest bathroom and locked myself in. I started to hear knocking on the bathroom door and the voice, "Don't you want to play, Alyssa? We could have a lot of fun." I started screaming back, "Hell no, just leave me alone." She started laughing. The knocking and laughter grew louder and louder, and then it started sounding like that thing, started to walk away, still laughing and knocking. Then I couldn't hear it anymore. My grandpa came into the house yelling, "Alyssa, it's Grandpa. You can come out, you're safe." I ran as fast as I could to my grandpa. Later on, I found out that after my phone cut out on my mom, she sent my grandpa to check on me. Once I told my grandpa that a little girl had gotten into the house, we went around the house searching for her, but we never found anything. All the windows and the doors were locked. The garage was closed up tight, and nothing was broken into. I hate being home alone now, and being in my room, but I've learned to deal.
I told you there was I'm really getting goosebumps, guys. If this is the start of this series, and this is the first episode, I'm really getting goosebumps. I don't know what to say. Okay. Let's watch the next one. This is called My True Horror Story of Saki.
When I was about 9 years old, I was in my swimsuit, ready to go to swimming lessons. My brother and I had made a pillow fort,
Seems
and it was
innocent.
still there from the night before. I had crawled underneath the coffee table, where a blanket went over it, blocking out the outside world. I have no idea why I stuck my foot outside of the blanket, but I did. A dark black sock crawled creepily towards my foot
Ew.
and slowly slid over it. The sock was cold, and I felt odd. I recognized the sock. It looked just like the one my mom had. I called out my mom's name and my brother's name, but there was no response. only silence. I walked to the window, but when I looked out, there was nothing out of the ordinary. I saw my cat staring at me with a weird look on her face. Then, I was horrified when I heard the shower running upstairs. My mom was still in the shower, and my dad was at work. I ran up the stairs to find my brother spinning on the chair in my parents' room. I asked him if he went downstairs, and he told me it had nothing to do with the situation. I told my mom what had happened, but she didn't believe me. She said that I was probably hallucinating and that it was just the cat. But I know what I saw, and the look on my cat's face is still fresh in my memory.
Well, okay. Alright. Alright. I'm done. I'm done. No, I'm done. Okay. Whew. Wow. Those stories are creepy. And like I said, if this is the first batch for this month of October, whew, this month's gonna be a hectic ride. Are you guys ready for it? So you know what to do. If you like this video and the stories, give a big ass thumbs up, smash that like button in the face, and stay tuned for next week, because there's some more spooky ones coming up. So that's basically what I'm going to tell you guys. And if you are new to this channel and you want to be part of Ricky Code, Army and family, and you want to watch these videos, do hit that subscribe button, but ring the notification bell on, because that will let you know when the next batch of stories are up. Okay, so from me, Ricky, and the rest of the Ricky Code team, thanks for watching, and we'll check you guys in the next one. Cheers, guys!